Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, my gorgeous Libras. First, I want to apologize. I thought I had already done your reading. I thought you were the first reading I did for November. But I want to thank Monica for reaching out, asking, "Where's Libra's reading?" I'm so sorry, guys. But maybe this was the divine timing for it. By the way, this is going to be for Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You can certainly have a combination of that. Many of you are intuitively guided. You may not know if you have Libra in your chart, but something makes you click on the reading. That's your spirit guides. They nudged you here. Um, like when I do a reading, I then release it to the universe. And I trust that our guides will put it in front of whoever needs to hear it. And I let go of it. It then becomes yours. So we're going to do, I was going to say, so some of you are intuitively guided. Some of you may be in love with the Libra. Same thing, platonically or romantically. Just know that your guides are here. Matter of fact, feel comfortable asking your guides to give you signs of confirmation. My guides connect with your guides. We're just one big soul family. Um, and anyone who's new, just welcome to the soul family. So, anyways, thank you again, Monica. We are going to do what's called the Celtic Cross for November for you. Um, I did this with a couple other signs, and I don't know, it just seemed so right. I don't know what else to say. It just seems so right. But I am going to bring Mother Mary into the reading also. Um, we will use the crystal vision, or I'm sorry, we'll use the Gilded Tarot to clarify if need be. We'll open with Mother Mary. Let me put these over there. And for the main spread, I'm going to use the Light-Seers. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the lid down. And let's go ahead and open up this reading. And I will explain to you, because there's going to be 10 different positions here. And I'll explain to you which each one means as we are laying out the cards. But let's start with Mother Mary. I don't want to leave her out of your reading. By the way, let me give a shout out to the Libras in my life, starting with Sean, my nephew. He is on that cusp of Virgo and Libra. He is September 24th. My beautiful granddaughter, Lily, who is October 14th, and my sister Tracy, who is always in our readings, especially your readings. She was a Libra, October 15th. She was actually Sean's mom. Well, she still is Sean's mom, but um, yeah, but she's left the world. But she's still here. All right. So you have prayer. Instead of worrying, I pray about this situation to bring about real solutions. And then you have grace. I am filled with the same beauty, poise, and divine perfection as all of God's other creatures. I feel like it's your self-worth, knowing, you know, there's nothing wrong with you. Um, I get the sense that someone could have put like negative thoughts in some of your heads, but I feel like you have to look at the source because I do feel like someone may have put you down, cut you down, that type of thing. But then again, it's the source, it's the person who did it. Um, for some of you, it could be a parent. I'm feeling all different kinds of things. I'm feeling even teachers, which is interesting. All right, let's put those right there, and let's put a crystal in front of them. All right, so now we're going to do the Celtic cross, and I just want to give these a shuffle, and a cut. And it's not very often that I do actual spreads. I usually just do freestyle. But something is telling me to do the Celtic cross for you. All right, so let's begin. So position 1 is present day energy, current situation, that type of thing. Number 2, which will cross over, are challenges. So any like the main challenge or any obstacles, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. It can be something positive, something that's building you up. But we'll see. Number 3 is your subconscious mind. So subconscious factors that could be affecting a situation. Number 4 is your past. So past influences. Let me bring this up a little bit. Past influences that may still be playing a part today, like within your decision making or what have you. We'll see. Number 5 is your conscious influences. So these are the influences that you know about. And it can be even your own actions. And then we're going to go to where am I at? Number 6, the future. So the potential outcome, or the direction to take, we'll see. It can be, well, we'll see. We'll just see what it is. Next is you, your strengths, your qualities, what you need to navigate. That will go right here. And then your external influences go right above that. And that can also be factor, people, different factors, that type of thing. Next, we're going to do your hopes and fears. Goes right here. And that's your desires, what you hope comes true, maybe what you're even working towards. And last but not least is the outcome. And that is card number 10. Okay. So I make sure you can see everything. Bring this down a little bit more. There we go. All right. So let's go ahead and begin. And let's start with current situation, present. See if I get my fingers on it. 3 of Cups. So the 3 of Cups is the energy of joy, but it's also talks about rejoicing and celebration. So something to celebrate. Let's see what crosses it. Wow, the Chariot. It's interesting because I feel like what this is saying, number 1, this is the card of Cancer, but this is about your potential, and your potential is unlimited. Now, the Chariot needs balance to really become that unlimited energy. And that's the balance of the shadow and the light within ourselves, the masculine and the feminine. And then remember that the Chariot is driven by your intentions. So you tell the Chariot where to go. That means you have to believe that you have this unlimited potential, even if you don't know where you're going yet. I have a feeling that there is something is coming into your world that I do feel like is going to bring you joy. And I feel like this is just the beginning of something. This is just the beginning. All right, so let's look at the subconscious. Wow. Hello, 10 of Pentacles. House of Abundance. House of Loyalty. House that truly takes root. Interesting. When it talks about unlimited potential, well, some of you may be celebrating a new job. or you're really starting to see the fruits of your labor. I have to say, though, in the 10 of Pentacles, I don't feel like you're alone. You know, some of you may have, like, you may be in the 9 of Pentacles, which is independent energy, and you may be connecting to someone here. Again, don't forget, like, something is coming into your world that, number one, is going to bring joy to your heart and carries unlimited potential. But you have to know that at the same time. You know, like, try not to put restrictions on it. Instead, try to go with the flow, because this feels very good. Let's look at the conscious mind. Judgment. So this is your spiritual team. And when you see Judgment, they're calling you to the present moment. And this is in conscious energy. So you would be aware of it. You would see the signs. Some of you, this reading is your sign. But it is calling you to the present moment. And the reason is because there's a rebirth about to take place. Now, maybe you have to allow it. You know, I definitely feel like you have to look at it as a good thing, even if there may be a little fear. And it's not the fear is showing, but all of a sudden I feel like for some, you know, this may be so good that it scares you. But you want to talk about picking up the signs. So Judgment is telling you that I'm sending you signs that really are about a rebirth in your life. And in the 3 of Cups, a reason to celebrate. With the Chariot, the unlimited potential. And no wonder we're seeing the 10 of Pentacles. I mean, true abundance. Now, it doesn't, you know, when I say abundance, for some, money is like what truly makes you happy. But this, to me, is energy that can last a lifetime. That's what I feel. Because it's born out of the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles has roots. So those roots, you know, they take form and they just grow, right? That ace grows and blossoms. And I feel like, and then it sends out new seeds. So I feel like you're receiving that. All right, well, let's look at the past. Tower. But listen, I have a feeling without this tower, this rebirth couldn't take place. Tower means there was disruption, an ending. It could have been against your will, or you could have given the tower. You know, I feel like more of you have ended something, but I feel like it needed ending. It needed to end. Because that's what's opening up this new energy. You know, I'm not dismissing the difficulty of the tower. But yet at the same time, I want to say that I feel like many of you, if you didn't give the tower and you received the tower, I feel like you're going to go back one day soon, and be thanking that tower. Thank you, tower. It reminds me of a Chicago song. If she didn't, I always forget the words. If she didn't cheat on me, then I never would have met you. If she didn't cheat on me, I never would have met you. Mm. I do have a feeling for some of you that's exactly what it means. Someone hurt you. Someone hurt you. But shame on them. Shame on them, because I don't feel like they know what they had. Now, I'm not saying this is love. It kind of feels that way. But this could also relate to like a job. What I'm really picking up is someone just didn't realize what they had within you. So there wasn't the appreciation that you deserve. So this tower, though, again, difficult as you're going through it, it's really a blessing. All right, well, speaking of that, let's now look at the future. Five of Pentacles. Okay, so first of all, that makes sense because the Five of Pentacles is the same feeling as the Tower. But here's the thing. Your spiritual team is showing you that there's opportunity coming your way. And it truly may feel unbelievable. But I feel like not everyone is going to take advantage of that. And here's why. Just look at the image. So, this person's sad. Makes sense, right? But if you look at their energy, their head is down. They're still focusing on that tower. And this is your future, but your near future. It is a 5. So I feel like it wants you to ask yourself, like, what am I focusing on? Because a 5 asks for change. And the beautiful thing about this is here is the key right there that unlocks that door, that creates a rebirth. But first, I gotta lift my head up. I gotta take that key. I gotta be bold. And I gotta unlock this door. I gotta see what's behind it. I know what's behind it. Joy, happiness, really unbelievable energy that may come out of the blue. I do feel like, though, this requires your action. It's interesting we have the 5 of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles. And I'm not feeling, I really don't feel they're connected. Other than if I take this energy and I lift my head up, and even though it may feel difficult as you're doing it, you unlock that door. And then I feel like, baby, hang on to your hat. Hang on to your hat. Because in the 5 of Pentacles, when you unlock that door, you really are moving towards your soulmate tribe. You're moving towards people who are compassionate, empathetic. Matter of fact, some of you, there may be someone who shows, who helps you, who sees you in this energy, well, a sadness, I guess. And I feel like they want to help you. Now, for some of you, well, for all of you, it's definitely your spiritual team is part of this. But I feel like there's someone special also. You know, I do feel like when you open that door, you literally are finding your soulmate tribe. And for some of you, it may be love. It may be great friendship. And it may be all of the above. All right, well, let's continue on. We can always come back and clarify. So now let's look at you, your strengths, your qualities, what you may need to navigate. Well, this makes sense. The Hermit. And we're in the year of the Hermit. This is the end. This, like, we literally have the month of December left. So it's really important that we understand that the Hermit is about reflection. You know, often the Hermit has gone through the dark night of the soul, and the Hermit is seeking the light. And the Hermit realizes, I am the light. I am my own savior. This is about your collective wisdom, but over many lifetimes. You know, like I feel, have you ever like said to someone like, I know what I know. I don't know how I know it, but I know that I know it. Well, that's your spiritual team. And that's you picking up their messages. You know, this is also the natural energy of healing. And I love how this hermit is sitting on a cliff. It's like the foal. It's like a spiritual leap. Having faith to take that spiritual leap. But your spiritual team is right beside you. Some of you, I could see you taking the wisdom that you have and creating from that. You know, like a healing business. And I often feel the hermit definitely helps heal others. It doesn't have to be through a business. It just becomes your natural energy. You know, like all of a sudden, people are coming up to you for your wisdom. Like, be proud of yourself. This is the wise old soul. And this is the representation of this final 9th year of this 9-year chapter. And then we move into the magician's energy. It feels like your spiritual team is getting you ready. Like they want you to enjoy. And it's interesting also because we have the Tower of the past, even the Five of Pentacles of the near future. But through the Hermit's energy, I'll be able to work through that. I'll be able to figure it out. Also, card of Virgo, by the way. All right, so let's look at the external influences going on in your life. Well, hello, Ten of Cups. Well, well, well. House of Love, House of Harmony, Laughter, the House of Joy. It just kind of feels like it's natural. Like it's the natural flow of whatever is happening in your life. I feel like it's really important. And I do feel like the day will come when we look at that tower and we don't allow it to hold any weight in our present nor our future. That was then, this is now. So the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. Wow. No wonder the Chariot is over that energy of rejoicing and celebration. Like when it says that you have unlimited potential, well, the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups, I don't know. What more could I ask for? Okay, so let's look at your hopes and fears. Justice. Interesting. That's your major arcana. Some of you, you know, I feel like when justice shows up in a reading, it means a couple different things. First of all, I'm really noticing how your higher self is talking to your earthly self. So you have a lot of spiritual guidance. But what I was going to say is usually when justice shows up in a reading, something is not balanced. Well, that would be the Tower and the Five of Pentacles. And using that sword, which means the cutting of ties. But let's say someone cut ties with you, then it's cutting the energetic ties back to them. It's getting rid of those little claws, right? Those little hooks. Because when you use the sword of justice, what it does is it makes you whole again. That's what justice is about. It's what's fair and just in your life. I love that we see your major arcana. I always love seeing the signs major arcana in their reading. And that's the thing about you, Libra, is you really do care about what's fair and just. And I don't feel like you had it fairly, but maybe it taught you something. And sometimes it's as simple as lifting my head up, grabbing that key. And that key, I feel like, is a symbol from your spiritual team. It's like, we're going to show you the key that unlocks that door. Well, look what lays upon that or behind that door. First of all, your wisdom, the ability to heal and help heal others. And, whether you choose to do that as a living, it doesn't even matter. I just feel like once you have reached this stage, I feel like you just naturally heal. You just carry that energy. And I feel like a lot of you carry it anyway. I think what I would ask myself is, where do I need to use this sword at? And remember, this sword is a gift. It's kind of like your intuition is a gift. Your intuition is your GPS to use in this lifetime. Well, the sword is to use anytime you seem like it seems fitting. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's our thoughts, sometimes it's people, but it is to bring you back to you again. And, the minute you use that sword, what you find is balance. And Libra, you need balance to feel good. And you should have it. Like, I feel like you deserve it. All right, let's look at the final outcome. Well, hello, Emperor. So, number one, anyone thinking about a business, this is the energy for it. Especially if you look at the Emperor mirroring the Hermit, by the way, a card of Aries. And Aries is a seed planter. So it may ask you to plant these seeds, like plant the seeds of the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. And then your spiritual team is like, and then let us do our job. So the Emperor, I often feel, is a business owner. The Emperor is definitely a leader of the people, but leads through empathy and compassion. And why is that? Because the Emperor has been through a lot in his life. There's a lot that the Emperor has had to overcome. but did. If this is relating to someone new, then this is also great energy because it represents someone that you can look up to. It's also the father figure, by the way. I should throw that out there. But as it relates to love, like the Emperor, you can look up to this person. This is someone I feel that when you meet, you would talk about the different experiences you've had. And I have a feeling that what you find is the similarities between your lives. Interesting. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Hmm, Seven of Swords. So that Seven of Swords is connected to that tower. This is untrustworthy energy. You know, they call this the thief in the night. The thief in the night. I call it the little cheater. Or doesn't necessarily have to mean cheating, but I feel it's energy. First of all, I feel like it's a lower vibrational energy. You know, like someone who has no interest in evolving. Probably doesn't even know what that means. And I'm not putting them down because everyone has a right to live their life the way that they choose. But I do find it interesting because I have a feeling that they will also one day be like, damn, and I let that go. And the answer is yes, you did. And now you have no rights. Goodbye. Look at that, the death card right underneath that. Goodbye. All right. So I do want to clarify. You know, I could leave the reading just the way it is. I feel like it's showing us, it's showing us a lot. But I do want to go deeper. So let's give them a cut. And let's look at the Three of Cups with the Chariot because they go together. Hello, Ace of Wands. How about passion ignited? How about a spark? Turns into fireworks. This is action oriented. That means, you know, for some of you, it's like your heart chakra is activated. But then you do have to like be willing to take the next step. And I feel like that's why, you know, I don't want to say I'm worried because I feel in time you will unlock that door. And then it will be your divine timing. But this is an energy of go, like the green light and judgment right there. Who do you think is sending you that energy? Your spiritual team. All right, I want to see what comes out with that though. Four of Swords, beautiful. Healing. That's exactly what this person needs. Healing. You know, in the Four of Swords, it is healing of the heart, right? You have these three swords, and usually you see them piercing the heart. There's one sword here, and that sword is of your own truth. You know, sometimes you can figure out when you're in this energy, like, what put me here? Did I give away my power? Was I just accepting lower vibrational energy? You know, what this is signifying is the past won't have any say-so in your future, especially a particular person. And then, come on, the Knight of Wands, passion rushing in. You know, I say this all the time, but I feel every knight will complete their mission, come hell or high water. I feel like every knight is sent by a king or a queen, and they're coming in, and they bring passion with them. And how it doesn't activate your heart chakra, I don't know. I know it will. And it's kind of beautiful that between the Ace of Wands, right, that spark, then the healing. It's almost like you're saying, I have a reason to really heal the past. Like I have a reason. Not that you needed a reason, but this is giving you a reason. Because this is new, but it's full of passion. Holy cow. And how beautiful that the healing is right in between the two. So I feel like you will accept this night and the energy. Okay, let's pick this up. And it's funny because I haven't watched a tarot reading in so long. I do try to watch those of you who have channels. I do try to watch yours, but my time is so limited. But why am I saying that? I don't know. Why was I even saying that? Oh, because I've seen other people do the Celtic cross, and I've never seen anyone go back and clarify. I think it's me. I think it's my Virgo mind. I always want to know more. I want to go deeper. You know, that's why I call the Queen of Pentacles my psychic detective. Like, I want to know more. And I do want to know more. All right. So I think what I want to do, well, let's go down to the Ten of Pentacles. Hello, son. Holy cow. Playfulness. It's weird how I just said that. Playfulness. This is your illuminator. I can tell you one thing. If anything is done in the dark, it comes to the light with the sun. But I feel like that was your past. This is telling you this is a brand new day, brand new energy, and it's coming from the light. Well, I know it's coming from the light because judgment is mirroring it, your spiritual team. So the sun over the Ten of Pentacles, over your abundance. You know, it's like if you've had, let's say, like writer's block, you know, like you're someone who's creative, but, you know, and by the way, the Libras in my life are so creative. Um, they're fantastic musicians. They really are. And like Lily writes, well, Sean does too. Like they write their own songs. Lily plays, so does Sean. I just realized that. They play every instrument. So I know you guys have so many qualities. And I just feel like there may have been someone who they couldn't get out of their own way. They couldn't get out of their own way. I feel like when the sun shows, especially if we're talking, well, it doesn't even matter if it's love or money. Um, it's really unencumbered energy. And that means things flow easily. And that may be part of what you're being asked of. Like, allow it just to flow naturally. Whatever you're going to be rejoicing over. Hello, Ten of Pentacles. Hello, Ten of Cups. It's not about trying to control it. And you don't need to when your spiritual team is the one who's ushering it in. Just have fun. Enjoy it. And I do feel like it's talking about love and money. This tower feels like dead weight. Feels like weight I've been carrying around. It reminds me of the Ten of Wands with all the wands on your back. And it becomes too much. And even if I maybe didn't want to break it, they break it. But I have a feeling your spiritual team was behind it. Why? Because they don't want you in this sad state. They don't want you not believing that all is possible. Something's only impossible until it becomes possible. I grew up in the age where you used a phone, it was attached to a cord. And you can only go as far as the cord would let you go. I grew up with there's four of us kids, and we were all teenagers at the same time, my poor parents. But I remember I couldn't call my boyfriend until my brother got off the phone. We were always fighting, like, get off the phone. Um, don't know why I'm bringing that up. All right. Oh, okay. I'll take you. 5 of Wands. Okay. Well, that's drama. That's fighting. 2 5s here. And remember, 5s ask for change. 1 is about picking yourself up, unlocking that new door. And this one, I feel like, is a remembrance. Why something didn't work in the first place. A lot of drama, a lot of ego. And it makes sense with the Seven of Swords because I feel like this person has a lot of ego. Almost like it's my way or the highway. And you may have chosen their way for a while, but now you're choosing the highway. So you're not really missing much. I know if it's related to love, but it doesn't have to be love. It can be family. It can be anyone. It can be people I work with. They're just drama filled. And I feel like in the 5 of Wands, if I'm waiting for someone to, especially with the Seven of Swords here, to tell me, I was wrong, you were right, you're not going to hear it. This person will tell you you're wrong even when they know you're right. And one of the main reasons why is they don't want the consequences of their own actions. For some of you, it's like you figured something out, and you may have gone to them and told them that, and yet they lied anyway. Let's just say there's been drama around the Ten of Pentacles. And that may be why I felt for some like a writer's block. And I'm using that as an example. Though for some of you, I feel like it is what it is. But then as this energy leaves, then that writer's block also leaves. So I become much more creative again. I'm back to me again. That's really what the sun wants. Like being yourself, unencumbered. The sun is the promise of a brand new day. But it also looks like it is the promise of abundance. But at the same time, the Ten of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, it is your work. It's your hard work. So it's you receiving the benefits of that. Even the sun illuminating the tower. So to me, it's like very clear why something didn't work. And it's interesting how I see it all the time in readings, and I know I've done it in my own life, where something or someone is like coming between you and joy, you and your abundance. And yet we take it, right? We take it. But that's until we figure ourselves out, until we evolve, where we know we just deserve more. Sometimes we become so comfortable in the uncomfortableness that we refuse to change. Well, that may be another reason why judgment could have like pushed that tower a little more. Why would they do that? Because look at what waits. Look at what waits. All right, let's pick that up. And I don't need to look at the tower. Let's look at judgment. See if judgment has... Oh, that didn't... Oh, speaking of the Ten of Wands. Hello. And then went under my paper. My screen is so dark. There we go. The Page of Pentacles. Ten of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. So that Ten of Wands, I already felt. Right? This is literally you and all the responsibility on your shoulders. It's backbreaking. It's too much. I often feel in the Ten of Wands subconsciously, I'm wishing for a tower. But your guides heard you. The Page of Pentacles tells me not to regret because you've learned a lot. It's probably what caused you to start to evolve in the first place. Like, I could see this tower sending you into, let's say, the dark night of the soul through the Hermit. But again, we're seeking the light in the Hermit. I know you can barely see it. But we're seeking the light. And I know you're going to find it. So I'm really not surprised to see this. But I feel like what your spiritual team wants you to understand is, really everything you've been through has taught you something. It's what helps you to evolve. And it is a different way of looking at it. Instead of like, damn you, tower. I just know a day will come and you'll be like, thank you, tower. Why? Because it takes all this burden away from you. And again, it's not about living in regret. It's about what you have learned and how you have grown because of. And then you look at the hermit, who I do feel is a natural healer. I have lifetimes of wisdom. I don't know that as a human, but as we start to come back to ourself, our higher self, which is exactly what we can see, if I can pick it up, in Justice. Look how this is like your higher self looking at your earthly self. Look at her smiling, though. Your earthly self isn't smiling, but your higher self is. She's like, I got a secret. I got a secret. Okay, I get that. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the Five of Pentacles. Even though I'm pretty darn clear on it. Oh, I said darn and not damn. And remember, it is a 5. So, 5s are change. Some changes we want, some we didn't ask for. But they do serve your purpose. Whoa. Okay, that's a lot. But I am going to take them. They're all face up. Except for that. Look at that. 2 of Wands is in reverse. I mean, it was face up, but it's reverse. This is stepping upon a new path. This is the path of adventure. The Ace of Pentacles, or the Ace of Wands, and the Knight of Wands we saw, it makes sense. Because that's what lies on this path. But it's reverse. I don't feel like it has to stay that way. Because again, we're looking at the Five of Pentacles, where some still have their head down. Hello, Ace of Swords. Number 1, this is your truth. This is truth. This may be communication. 10 of Swords. How could you not subconsciously be wishing for a tower? The 10 of Swords to me, it represents a repeat pattern. At this table, anyway. I know not everybody reads it that way, but that's what I feel. Like I may have given someone or something chance after chance after chance. And this is the energy of you taking dagger after dagger in your back to the point of submission. That's the way this person's just laying there taking it. It's almost like saying to the universe, I expect bad things to happen. And then they do. But that's the power of intention. The 7 of Wands. It's about standing your ground. Hello, Emperor. Oh my gosh. And then 10 of Cups. The Emperor and the 10 of Cups. It's like these 2 tens. Which house do I want to stay in? The House of the Swords, dagger after dagger in my back, or the House of Love and Harmony? Some of you, there could be communication that comes out of the blue. And some of you are going to accept it, and some of you aren't. I don't know how else to put it. But at the same time, this isn't about, well, I was going to say this isn't about rushing you. Though I do feel like the Hermit's energy of 2025 is playing a role. Because remember, we're moving into the year of the Magician. We want to be clear about the seeds that we plant. And we have to plant seeds or we will have no harvest. Truly, it's like in the Ten of Swords. I expect good things or I expect bad things to happen, and they do. Well, what if I turn that around? What if I expect good things to happen? Now, let me clarify though. If your head is still down and you're unwilling to unlock that door, and I mean you're unwilling, then I feel like it remains the same until you decide enough is enough. You know, I mean, look at the Emperor coming out again, connected to that Ten of Cups. And I'm feeling it both ways. Like, let's put it this way. Some of you may be creating a business and falling in love. Some of you are taking these experiences that you've been through and you're helping others. That's what the Hermit does, right? And it's natural. But in the Hermit's energy, because the Hermit is now shining his beacon of light outwardly, I have clarity. I can help if I so choose. So, who's ever in the Five of Pentacles, I want to say this is giving you every reason to unlock that door. And it's also saying to you that if you expect that there's going to be change, and I'm not saying that this person can't change, I don't see any motivation for this person to change. And if it's love related, it doesn't mean the person didn't love you. It just means that they didn't love you right. You know what I mean? Like, because it's more about them. It just is. They do have the opportunity to evolve. I just don't feel like it's happening here. And you know what? As I say that, I hear my spiritual team saying, let that go. What was, it's not important now. Let's move forward. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to listen and I'm going to move forward. And I'm just going to pray that this Two of Swords turns around. You know, or this Two of Wands. And by the way, in the Two of Wands, you just merely need to step upon the path. This is not having it all figured out. This is saying, you know what? I miss having adventures in my life. I miss having passion in my life. So I am going to step upon this path. You can always, my screen is going light and dark and light and dark. You can always change course. But I don't think you're going to want to. But you can. That's free will. Okay. So I'm going to look at the Hermit moving into the Ten of Cups. That's moving into your major arcana. That's moving into the Emperor. Hello, lovers. Wow. So, first of all, this is a card of Gemini. My damn screen keeps going dark and light. So this is a card of Gemini. Kind of forget that now, unless Gemini is what you're interested in. The meaning of this card is a head over heart decision. Do I follow my head? Do I follow my heart? Your heart chakra is being activated for a reason. Now, that doesn't always mean love. It can mean a love of what you do, a love of your life again. But look at this image. We have the masculine, kind of like in spirit form, but we have the feminine who can feel his energy, even though he's not here yet. So this is chemistry. It's undeniable. And I kind of love, first of all, it's coming over the Hermit. And the Hermit being a card of Virgo, this Gemini, they're both ruled by Mercury. So Mercury may have a play. I'm trying to think how. Probably through some type of communication. But hello, lovers. Your cards have a mind of their own. We have the Four of Pentacles over the Ten of Cups. We have the Six of Cups over Justice. And then we have the Death card over the Emperor. Okay. So we have the Four of Pentacles over the Ten of Cups. Four of Pentacles to me talks about your foundation. And I feel like what this is saying, especially because we're seeing a 5, which to me is not balanced. I feel like what it's saying is anything you begin with a strong foundation. So think about the foundation, right? Like if I'm about to fall in love, then how do I want to say this? Well, I feel for some of you, it's like you're friends first, and then you fall in love. Now, I know that's not for everyone. And for some, you may have someone coming back, not this person. Because this would be someone that you would have happy, treasured memories about. It's the energy of nostalgia. And this is not that, if that makes sense. And then we have the Death card over the Emperor. So when you see the Death card, something has come to completion. And then a rebirth, a new door opens. Well, look at Judgment and the Death card so close together. For some of you, I feel like this could also be your father, like a father as a guide. And who better? Well, I mean mother, but boy, I feel that strongly all of a sudden. Like some of you definitely have father figure, is what I'm hearing, a father figure. So it can be like a big brother, an uncle, but I do feel that it's someone that you lived this lifetime with. And for some of you, it is your father or a father figure. But, okay, so the Death card speaks about rebirth. The same thing Judgment is speaking about. And it is mirroring the Lovers. Some of you, this is also past life love. Because it's coming back around. I definitely feel that. Like this is not our first lifetime together. No wonder the Lovers is coming over the Hermit. And I say that because in the Hermit's energy, I feel like we have lived a lot of life, a lot of lifetimes. And I don't feel like this love is coming back because something was left uncompleted. I don't feel that. I do feel that often in past life readings, but I don't feel that here. I just feel like it's coming back around um because the love is so strong. Wow. I don't want to take the illumination off your money also though. Some of you, your lives are changing. Like you may be starting new jobs or starting your own business, or like that writer's block has been lifted and now you're creating like never before. Some of you are receiving real epiphanies. I say real, they're always real. Um, but I mean that in a way where it's almost like undeniable. And it may start you on a new path as it relates to a career or your creativity. I feel like sometimes we start something like just creatively, and the next thing you know, I've created a business. That's kind of my story with Tarot. But that's not why I'm telling you that, because I already know some people are like, why do you always tell your personal stories? I tell my personal stories when I feel like it fits in a reading. And I feel like that's what the Hermit, and I am a Virgo, but that's really what the Hermit represents, right? The helping to heal others through one's own experience. And the Emperor just fits perfectly with the Hermit's energy because this is someone who naturally wants to help other people. This is someone who does care about their fellow man and woman, um, and wants to help give them a hand up, not a hand out, a hand up to help them. It's like, what's that saying in the Bible? Jesus, can give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, or teach the man how to fish and he eats for the rest of his life. I know I'm messing that quote up completely and I apologize, especially because it's coming from the Bible. But I think you know what I'm saying. Okay. All right. So, what I want to do, because I just feel so clear, is I'm just going to go ahead and ask for any other messages. And I think I will bring out the love cards in a second. All right. Well, hello world. So, you know, this is the next chapter. This means something has come to completion. Come on, screen go light. And something new is opening up. I feel like the world's energy is when you are your most spiritual. Like you are now living a spiritual life. You're trusting your intuition like never before. You're trusting in your guides like never before. This is you saying yes. Oh my. Hello, soulmates. So we just saw the lovers, and now we see the soulmates. How about it being connected right to the world? So that signifies that this is part of your new chapter. Wow. Seven of Cups. Will you or won't you? This is like a question. right? But it's of the cups. This can be chaotic energy, and that could mean that this love arrives on a very chaotic day. But it does put the ball in your court. And then there's our little psychic detective. This question with the soulmates, for some of you, I don't even feel like it's a question. But there are a few I feel like, where, and there's nothing wrong with taking your time to figure out, is this what I want to move towards? But then I want to remind you that you can always change course, but I have a feeling once you step upon this new path, you won't want to change course. You'll want to continue. I also feel like this is signifying that your intuition is going to be illuminated. It's interesting because I started a new series with my podcast, and I'm calling them soul sessions. So it's like a horoscope, but for the soul. And I did Scorpio season because that's what we're in. Um, why am I telling you this? It's so weird how I start something then I forget. Is that a sign of old age? Maybe. Hmm. I don't know why I said that. Okay. But anyways, that doesn't really matter. Um, let's let's pick up the extra cards and let's bring out the clarifying love situations. All ready to go, but we will give them a shuffle. I just had a feeling. I got a feeling. But that song has been with me. I need a new song. Hey Jude, got you down. Okay, well that didn't take long at all. Ooh. All right, hanging on. Release the past and let yourself love again. Libra. Release the past. Hello. Speaking right to this person in the five of Pentacles. Release the past and let yourself love again. Soul's compass. Let intuition guide your steps, illuminating the life path meant for you. Holy cow. Let intuition guide your steps, illuminating the life path meant for you. And then, last but not least, we're still going to do the romance angels. Oh my gosh. Eternal renewal. In the cycle of life, understanding breeds hope for what comes next. Well, for some of you, it is a past life love. And I feel like that's why it says eternal renewal. Okay. Let's bring out the romance angels, and then we shall let it be. By the way, I apologize because your reading wasn't done in October. Well, what I mean is it wasn't ready for November. And in the readings, a special that I was running is anyone who bought a reading in the month of October. I'm going to put all the names in a bowl. I did this for September also. And who knows? I think I might just keep doing it. Um, though that could really give me a very heavy schedule. But anyway, so I'm going to put all the names in a bowl and just pull one, and that person will win free future reading. There's no deadline. The only thing I ask is that it be scheduled. It has to be scheduled. Other than that, it's whenever you need it. Um, and if you bought an emergency reading, then the same thing. So whenever you schedule the free reading, it will also be considered an emergency reading. So that will be within 48 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and extend that for you. And, if it's something that you're interested in, and if it is, maybe even leave comment under the reading, just saying something like, I want to be part of that contest or something like that. But then again, I may also do it for November. And I want to make it clear because some people think I'm just giving away a free reading. This is for those who buy a personal reading. And I've had a lot of people lately buy someone else a reading. So I leave that up to you. But like, let's say you buy you and someone else a reading, I would put your name in twice, unless you want me to put that other person's name in. Okay, I'm going too long here. But I feel bad. Okay, whoa. Let's do its face up first. Getting to know you as you reveal your innermost selves to each other. Your bond deepens. I love this image. And I love it because here we have this man trying to win this woman over, right? But if you look at the woman, she's like, I don't know. Well, she's kind of enjoying it, right? I feel like she's enjoying, like, knowing that this person wants to win her heart. But what I really notice is the daughter. Almost like saying, you better treat my mother right. And I also feel like it signifies that for some, you are a package deal. And if someone's not okay with that, then I don't feel like you'll be okay with them. All right, passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Well, I know that's what the Three of Cups is going to do. New love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. And then last but not least, love yourself first. Your self-respect. I don't know why I thought Mother Mary sent that out. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So, even though this says new love, and I know for many it is going to be new love, but I also feel for some it's also past life love that is coming back around. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at the love. I love what I'm seeing, except, I don't even mind seeing the tower because I know without this tower, I don't know that this would have happened. maybe in its divine timing. I feel like the real secret, though, is those who are in the Five of Pentacles. And I'm going to show you one more time, though, because I really want you to look at this. Like her energy, it's almost like giving up, right? Like there is no hope. If she just lift her head up, she'd see there's that key that unlocks this next door. And, we now know what lies behind that next door. And that may help. That may help now that you know. I mean, I understand it's hard, right? It's hard. I get it. But I also know that blessings can show up that just blow your mind. And that's kind of what I'm feeling here. Like, I feel like your spiritual team is going to blow your mind. And then think about the Chariot. Truly unlimited potential. But it is the power of your intentions. Just because this couldn't go the whole way doesn't mean that this won't, because it's showing it. But don't go into it thinking, well, it better lead to the Ten of Cups or the Ten of Pentacles, because you are co-creating it. So you have a lot to do with this. I feel like your spiritual team just wants you to allow the door to open. So that is your action. Like if I don't use that key and I don't unlock that door, am I doomed to stay in this energy? In a way, yes, but in a way, I feel like sooner or later you will get up and you will unlock that door. And I just have a feeling that that will be your divine timing. But I also want to say, I think it is important to understand that this is that last year of a 9-year cycle. So we want to start planting those seeds right now of how we want the next 9 years to look like. Remember, we're going into year 1. It's like an opportunity of new beginnings. And the power of the magician. You are the alchemist. You are helping to create these miracles. Power of your intention. Okay, I'm going to let that be. Again, I apologize that your reading is late. I cannot believe, like when I read Monica's comment, I'm like, what? I even went back to find Libra's reading for her, and I'm like, I can't find it. Oh my God, I can't believe that. I am so sorry, guys. I truly thought you were the first reading I did. That is weird, but I'm just going to say, I feel like this reading is so beautiful that this was the time you were meant to see it. So I'm going to let that be. I love you guys. I thank you. My prayer for you is that these blessings find you and they blow your mind. And that allows you to believe in the impossible again. That's my prayer for you. I love you. I'll see you next time at our table, and I promise I won't forget your reading next month. I promise. I might even do a special reading for you this month. Just because. All right, guys. You know what? I think I am going to do, because now I want to see what happens after the fact. But we'll see. If I can fit it in, I'm going to do it. All right, guys. I love you. I thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Keep shining that light.